Hey, how are you guys?
Hi.
Welcome to episode 8
Hello.
of Uncalled For. I think I caught you off guard a little bit.
Hi.
It's fine.
Just a
all
little. We're fine though. I
good.
think the music's shut off. I don't.
We hope
It-
so.
it
If
should
it's
be.
not,
We don't
enjoy
have-
the
It's
music.
not. It's Jordan's fault.
We don't have Tim, so
He's dead.
rip
He
Tim.
died.
Rip Tim.
Rip.
He's dead. We should have a moment of silence for our fallen Tim.
That's enough.
And that's,
Yeah.
that's it.
That's all he
it,
deserves.
that's it.
Actually, that was fine because I was able to look at the meters on OBS for the.
There you go.
That's all I was looking for.
Tim's
honestly.
death was not meaningless.
No, I just wanted to make sure that there wasn't tons of music playing or anything.
Yeah.
So this is episode 8 of On Call For. We brought Nick back. I can talk. I promise. This is gonna be a fun night.
I messed up too.
And
Nick's the first repeat
repeat
performance
guest.
of an uncalled fourth.
that is true.
True,
Yeah,
yeah.
That's a title to put in your resume.
Okay.
that will
I'll
forever
put that
be
on my desk then.
Oh, you
You should
better.
definitely.
That's
Get a
gonna
plaque
be part
and
of your deal
everything.
forever now. That's just your new title. You were the permanent fifth wheel / fourth person.
What?
That makes no sense.
Well, I mean, because he's not, like the permanent person. That's gonna be Logan. So he's like the first alternate, which would make him the fifth. But he's also the repeat fourth because he's the fourth gear.
Okay, continue.
We're just gonna move beyond Jordan logic.
So what?
Yeah,
moving
yeah,
beyond
so-
to
so.
you starting then or what?
You want me to start?
I don't care who starts. We
Okay.
we
Doesn't
don't
matter
ever
to me.
discuss this. So
We probably should discuss this a little better.
whoever wants to
Preparation's
whoever wants to go first can go
You
first.
Just
want to
wanna-
start and end? I can start if you want. You want to move over? Do you want to go first, Nick?
I can
What's
just
going
knock
on?
mine out. Mine's pretty easy, I would say.
Okay.
Well,
Honestly, I haven't been thinking
Ish.
at all.
I
I
don't
need,
care.
I need a whole
Just
time
Just make
to
it up
think
on the
about
fly
it.
on this one.
All right,
Okay.
go for it.
So I thought your top 5 non-Christopher Nolan movies.
It's so
that's
hard.
that's what kills us. That non-Christopher Nolan.
It's so hard.
My 5 would be The Martian,
It's a good one.
Robots, Ford
Robots.
versus Ferrari,
That's a good one.
Pandorum, and Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay. Okay.
Those are
Oh,
mine.
that's right. Marvel movies
Yeah, you
wouldn't
can
be
go
included
Marvel
on
too.
this.
Yeah,
Remember
they're
that,
not
DC?
Well, I can't go DC because that would include my Batman movies I like so much, and you so rudely took that out. So
Well, it's a there's plenty more Batman movies out there.
yeah, but they're not good.
For the most part, yeah.
For the most part, I'll agree with that.
Yep.
And you know how much I love Batman.
Yeah,
Like they're just
So
they're,
if I'm saying that, you know it's
yeah,
true.
I know.
like I
tough.
wish that they were good, but they're not all that good. So
But that's a different discussion.
that is very true. So I would say
I know your top 3. Go ahead.
Space Jam, The Other Guys, and Star Wars Episode 3. That's no particular
Okay.
order. And I don't know, man. The other two, it's gonna be tough. But yeah, I don't even know. Can I just end it at 3?
I was just trying
There's
to
a
get
lot of
5 out,
movies
yeah,
I
but
like.
No, I'm just non-Christopher Nolan movies.
Extremes.
I know I'll throw a monkey
Having
wrench in
issues.
this one.
Yeah.
I have no control over
I
that.
know.
That's
It's
Mediacom's
Mediacom.
problem.
That is a MediaCom
My
issue.
ISP totally sucks. So if the stream's lagging, I apologize. It is on them. Everything is running as well as I can get it to run here.
Unfortunately, Mediacom is the best option.
For this area, they
And
are.
that
yeah.
really sucks.
Sucks.
That could be a topic for another day, and then we at them on Twitter every single day until they switch things up.
Right.
Day 4 of sharing our.
What were
our
your
Mediacom
4 and 5?
sucks.
I wasn't paying attention.
I don't know what the 4 and 5 would be. That's my problem. Is I know my top 3. I don't want to put like multiple Star Wars movies in there because one,
That's boring.
yeah,
That would be boring.
I'm not Logan, so I just feel like I should have originality.
It's good that you're not Logan.
Yeah, that's,
Sorry, Logan. Love you.
we love you, Logan, but we're glad you're not also Logan.
You're not here, so we can make fun of you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
true.
That's the thing. He's not here, so we.
Well, if he was here, I'd still make fun of him.
That's true.
No, you make fun of me all the time, and I'm
That's
here.
true.
I'm right next to you.
Yeah, well,
So-
you're an easy target.
That's just because I'm fat. I'm huge. It's hard to miss me. So, anyways,
I'm
the
right there.
the 4 and 5. What would that be? I can't see all my movies. I have
Don't
other,
cheat.
I have other movies in my closet.
Think of them, man. Think of them.
Well, we can move on.
Yeah, you guys go. I gotta
You
think.
you
so.
think about it. We might come back to you. We'll see.
Oh,
Do you want to
God.
go? You got movies?
I've
Or-
got some, but I don't think I know if I have all 5 of them yet.
Me either, but
Let's see. Like we were discussing, one of them that I think we share. Like, my favorite anime movie is Summer Wars.
Summer Wars is fantastic.
It is a fantastic movie. If you guys have not watched it out there, I recommend watching it.
If you're into anime. If you're not,
If you're
still
not,
watch it, but
you should
might
get
hate
into it because it's good. It's just that good. Let's see. Another one that I've always enjoyed. I've watched it since I was young. Big Trouble in Little China has always been one of them that I've watched for
Really?
most of my life. I don't know, but I enjoy it.
Straight Seth Benson right there.
I know, but it's not one of them that I would put in the high list, but we've taken out most of my high list already.
Well,
Because of the no Nolan rule.
this isn't
Exactly.
like what you find. This is your favorite, things you enjoy watching,
and
right?
I don't really think it's like a greatest movie, but it's something I enjoy watching.
Sure.
Let's see. I'm just going to clump them all together, but I love the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Not the
They're
Hobbit,
really good.
Never seen it.
Never seen it either.
but
so.
the Lord of the Rings trilogy,
Thank you.
pretty high on my list. I would
That's
not,
why you guys are lower to your friends.
It's true. It's true.
I'll just go into my hole back here. Plus,
It's
that
all
I,
good.
can, plus that I can look at my movies.
We don't expect anything different.
We really don't.
So Lord of the Rings, you said, right?
Yep, Lord of the Rings.
Essentially.
I'm putting
If you had to
the entire
if you had to
trilogy.
pick one.
I'd probably do the Two Towers.
Me too.
Two
it's
Towers.
so good. That's my favorite.
It is so well done. So well done. Let's see. So that's we'll say that's 3, right?
Sure, that works.
Let's see. What else would I even put up there? Oh gosh, I have such a collection of movies, and I have to think through which ones I actually.
Pokemon,
No.
the first movie.
No.
No.
That's probably
That's
on
his
your
number
list.
4.
That's,
That's his number 4.
isn't
That's
it?
my number 4 for you.
I haven't seen that in years. I like the one line. I didn't know Vikings still existed. They mostly live in Minnesota. That makes me laugh every time. And every time I think about it, I'm like, you know what? I need to watch that movie again. And then I never do.
You would.
Then I never do.
Do you need time to think, or?
See, I'm just gonna kind of think of a couple of genres here. Like, okay, my dad's a huge Western fan. So
Sure,
I'm
yeah.
a huge John Wayne fan as a result.
The Duke.
You
Like,
know?
one of my favorites by them though is the Cowboys.
Is
Okay.
he related
Have
to
you ever
Bruce?
seen that one?
Just stop. Stop, Jordan. Jordan.
You have okay. I have this much respect for you. Okay, it was already below 0. Okay, you have taken it even deeper.
Below 0.
Okay,
Has he
you
reached?
don't question the Duke. Okay,
That
Yeah,
is
you
so
don't.
sad.
You don't.
you just don't question the Duke.
You just don't do that.
Be ashamed, Jordan. Be very ashamed. All right. Let's see. So that'd be probably a 4th one for me. And let's see. For another. Let's see. So far, I've done mostly a comedy. We've got an anime. We've done adventure. I've done Western. Gosh, what's another good genre?
You can go in superhero movies or something
Oh,
like that.
superhero.
That's true.
Oh, gosh. Now, if you actually expect me to pick between all the Marvel movies, that's going to be rough.
Spider-Man 3.
but No.
Toby Maguire.
Oh man, completely
Bully
forgot about
Maguire.
that. I completely forgot about that.
For the memes?
Yeah, for the
It
memes.
Yes,
has the
but-
greatest memes for a movie
For
ever.
the
but-
meme ability, 3, yes.
But
for
Ooh.
So
actually
sit
what I
down and
enjoy,
watch it, and you love it.
What has better meme ability? Spider-Man 3 or Star Wars 3?
Spider-Man,
Spider-Man
3.
3.
Okay.
Yeah. Bully
By a
Maguire
long
all the
shot,
way.
man.
Man, by far. Don't even try to compare those two.
Have you seen it, Jordan?
I have. It's been probably 10, 15 years, but
It's-
It's interesting.
Top quality memes.
I need to go back and watch that someday.
Top quality.
But
Creme de la
anyways,
creme.
anyway,
Yeah.
Weston.
And then, so, let's see. For me, oh, gosh. I love them all. So which one do I go with?
SpongeBob movie.
No.
Would Endgame
I
be
was
up there?
get- What?
Would Endgame be there? Because it just
I
ties
don't
it
feel
all
like
in.
Endgame was actually one of the best ones in the Marvel series. I really don't.
It was
It's
just
one of the
it was
better
the
ones that I
emotional
saw.
It
end.
was the
It was the
emotional-
culmination of everything. That's why it was awesome.
Like one of, I don't know. I think for me, one of my favorites would have to be Captain America: Winter Soldier.
Yeah,
That's
that's a
mine.
pretty
It
good one
was
too.
incredible and very well done. So I think I'm going to go with that
Perfect
one for
pacing.
that one.
Yeah.
Well,
And that kind of gives you a bit of
yeah.
a spread shot of the genres that I
Mhm.
enjoy. So
Well, I thought that too because I was thinking of a Marvel movie. I just like the Guardians
you like
Galaxy
Guardians? Yeah.
because it's just like I like the characters, I like the music, I like everything about the whole. Like,
You know that's one
Group of
thing I haven't
superheroes.
seen yet either.
Really? We'll have to
Guardians
watch
of
them.
the Galaxy?
I know that I would enjoy it. I
You
know
would.
It,
Oh,
I
you
know
would.
it's my
They're-
sense
they're
of
really
humor.
good.
It's humor right up your alley.
Yeah, just saying
So-
the characters from it in Infinity War and Endgame. I know for a fact I would love that movie.
Yep.
Or
Well,
those movies. How many are there now?
two.
There's two, right?
There's two
They're
of
coming
them.
out with
3
a third?
comes out in
Next year?
3 years.
Oh, it's in
years, I
3
think.
years.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a while.
There's a holiday
Okay.
special though too. It's gonna come out.
Yeah.
Guardians
Alright.
of the Galaxy Christmas
But anyways.
special.
Well, those are mine.
Those are always
So,
good.
Dan, what are yours?
Oh, this is tough.
See, now
Is there
this is
some-
the list I know for sure because you're one of the biggest movie guys I know, but I would argue that he might be more into movies than you. So this is going to be
It's
really
kind of my
interesting.
thing.
He knows like every movie that's ever been made ever.
This is kind of a mixture, I guess, of these are some of my favorite movies up there.
Okay.
But some of them are like, if this movie were to like come up on TV or something randomly, I would just sit down and watch it just because.
No matter what.
Usually, yeah. If I have free time,
Okay.
I'll sit and watch it because it's
All right.
worthwhile.
Fast and Furious 9. Yep.
No.
No.
Honestly, I could throw Tokyo
He'll watch
Drift
that with
on
his.
there, actually.
He'll watch it
yeah,
with his family.
you could.
Like, don't knock it. Actually, Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift is fantastic. It's really a good movie.
It
It's
is.
so different from the rest of the series, but that would be an honorable mention maybe. But
Okay.
The Last Samurai.
Oh, I love
That's
that one.
I forgot
That's
about that one. That's
one
a
of
good
my favorite movies of all time. It's fantastic. I love the whole history of Japan and the imperial occupation and all that kind of stuff. So it's really cool. I just love Japan. Check that one out. That's really cool. Honestly, The Martian's on there.
Yep.
The Martian's on there. It's just a really well done movie.
It makes sense.
Scene is really
Yep.
good for what it is. It's just something that I'd sit down and watch.
I've never seen any of these.
Well, it just
It's
makes sense.
not a big
It
surprise
just,
or
everything
anything.
makes
Culture.
sense.
We
Right.
know
Like
this.
it just they didn't throw it
Yeah.
together.
I would say Summer Wars as well. It's one of my favorite anime movies probably, but that's not something you see on TV to sit down and watch, but that would be on there. If I'm going Marvel, I would say Winter Soldier as well. Since you've said it, Civil War maybe,
Okay, that's fine.
but Winter Soldier.
Thor Ragnarok. That's a good one.
Yeah,
It is a good
I like
one.
that.
there you go.
There's your number five.
Add your number 5 right there.
I don't know if it's my number 5, but it's just the one that popped in my head.
It's a good one.
Okay, it's a good one.
That is a really
But,
good
yeah.
one.
Winter Soldier I think is probably the best made Marvel movie.
Because I got
Just all
tons of
around.
movies that I could think of that I like.
But Civil War's pretty decent too. I enjoyed that one. But
That's your honorable mention.
maybe. Yeah, another honorable mention. There's a lot of those. One of my favorite movies, I don't know if you've ever seen The Crow.
I have.
The Crow is one of my favorite movies. It's fantastic. It's
Who's in it?
Brandon Lee, Bruce Lee's son. He died actually during the filming of the movie.
Oh.
It's fantastic. It's about an Image comic way back when. It's
Wait,
from
did
the
he die
90s.
while filming or just during filming?
During filming.
So
they did a bullet catch and it shot him. Yeah.
Oh, so they like actually killed him during recording.
He died
His
during
death
the
is
recording
on
of the movie.
camera.
No.
Oh,
I don't think they used it. I think it was during like rehearsals or
Oh.
he might have been. It might not have been not even been a part of the movie, but they did it while they were there on the like used. I don't know what you're doing, but
okay.
it stunt gone wrong and he died, which was pretty sad. But it's just I don't know how to explain that movie. It's really fantastic. Just the ambiance and stuff of it is really good. A lot of people don't like this movie, but another one that's on TV, I kind of sit down and watch it, is Tron Legacy.
Yeah, that's a pretty
I don't
good
know
one.
if you've
a good one.
seen that one.
I've
a lot
I've
of
seen
people-
bits and pieces. It's
It's
one of
so
those
much-
I've never seen the full
It's
thing of.
so much better like in a movie or like with surround sound. Like just if you're looking for the total package of like soundtrack, look and feel, like I said, ambiance of it. Like it's just all around cool. Daft Punk did the soundtrack.
Okay.
It's really, really just well done. It fits for the theme of that movie, I don't know how many I've given. I'll probably just keep going.
You already gave your 5, but anyways,
Yeah,
you could keep going.
I don't know. What else should I throw in there? I'm kind of a historical movie thing. I know you like those, don't you, Nick?
Yeah.
I like Kingdom of Heaven. I don't know if you've ever seen it.
So good.
It's about
It's
the Crusades.
Yeah.
The Jewish nation versus Saladin and the Muslim nation.
Yep.
It's
Okay.
crazy, really long. It can be a little dry for people, but I think it's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's with Orlando Bloom is the main character.
Okay.
Liam Neeson's in it. Really good, but
What was the movie we watched that one day at the church? I don't remember the name. It was a old World War II movie. And I just remember this guy kept climbing up a net,
yeah.
like going up.
Oh,
what was that
Hacksaw
movie?
Ridge.
Hacksaw Ridge.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a pretty
a
good one.
That was a
That
good
was a good
movie.
one.
I really enjoyed that. I just don't remember the name of the
Yep,
movies.
Hacksaw Ridge.
There's a lot of movies I can think of that
With
I really
Andrew
like.
Garfield.
Yeah, there's a ton that I can think of that I'm like, oh yeah, that was a good movie. That's a good movie. But I can't just
But-
put a top 5 list.
But
It's
over-
tough.
Yeah.
It
You
is.
know?
It
very
really
tough.
is.
Yeah.
But those are some of the movies that, if it came up, and I saw it was on or something, I would sit down and probably watch it.
Yeah.
Just because I enjoy them.
Speaking of World War II movies, Saving Private Ryan, I think
Sure,
is
it's
I think is
classic.
one of
Classic.
the best.
And just one more, I guess I throw in there was The Gladiator. Was
Gladiator. What one's that?
it's Russell Crowe. He's a Roman commander that gets kind of betrayed by the emperor, the Caesar's son, who kills him and takes the emperor's position, and like throws him to the wolves, and he becomes a gladiator
Yeah.
and like tries to win his freedom. It's
I feel like I've
Like
seen
he
it.
like he
it
just
came out
slays
in
people.
I
really
think
well
it came
done.
out in 2000.
Yeah. Early
was
2000s.
Or
early.
earlier than that.
Early
I don't
2000s
know.
or late 90s,
I think it was like
one of the
2000 or
two.
something, but
I feel like it's
It's
one that I've seen, but I just
one
don't
of
remember.
the most perfect movies done, like made. I think it's just really, really good. Storytelling and everything is just pretty fantastic.
And also he kills a lot of people.
That's true, he does.
It is entertaining.
Are you
in a
not
specific
entertained?
way.
You're
not entertained.
So you can put those on your list if you want to check them out. I think it's a solid list of entertaining movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Geared towards me specifically, but you might enjoy them. So
Well,
try
I
'em
mean,
out.
it's your list, so
Sure.
it had to be geared towards you for sure.
And I'll say this: I like all the movies you've mentioned.
thank you.
So
I think-
I approve of your list.
and I'm sure I'm forgetting so many.
Yeah, there's so many out there. but-
Like you said, Ford vs Ferrari is fantastic.
it's an amazing
Check
movie. I
that
love
out. There's a lot of good ones out there. I'm sure I forgot so
Yeah.
many.
Yeah.
So many.
I just looked and I saw an OBS. It looked like we got dropped from the internet for a second, but it's still being recorded, so
That's all that matters. It's
yeah,
recorded.
it's crap.
Check it out on
I just-
YouTube. What you're watching right now.
That's true, yeah.
Well, I think that sums up my tidbit.
Okay.
Okay.
Should we go this way around the table?
Move on.
Sure, you can if you
Yeah.
want.
Okay, so this was kind of a last
love
minute
movie talk.
topic, just like mine always are.
Kind of. You wait until we get here. Like, what should my topic be, guys?
I know. Well, I don't know.
And then we come up with a topic for you.
Many
Hey.
times we do.
This one I kind of came up with on my own. Well, it's because I watched something and it was like, okay, we could talk about this. So, something I never thought of. Everyone's like, oh yeah, time travelers, time travel. Excuse me. But one thing I never thought of is because of how the Earth is moving in the universe. Like, because we're rotating around the sun, and then we're rotating, like our solar system's moving in the Milky Way around this black hole. So it's like, we would need to figure out teleportation as well. Do you think that would ever be something that could ever be figured out? Would be teleportation to the exact moment where you're not going to be, because of how fast we're moving, like even 100 miles off of Earth's surface. Because, I mean, we're moving fast, Is that going to be anything that we could ever figure out? Because you're a smart guy. If anyone's
You're a
going to
smart
know,
guy.
like, if it's even...
I
Within the
actually
realm of
disagree
possibility.
that I'm quite that smart, but
I think it depends heavily on if you're a static or dynamic, machine. Like, in theory, is your machine outside the realms of the gravitational pull of Earth?
because you do have to
Like-
realize time is relative to the gravitational pull that it is being affected by. So the greater the gravitational force, the slower time actually flows.
Is
Okay.
it time in this exact spot on Earth?
Well,
or is it
see,
time
that...
in this exact spot in the universe? Like,
I don't know. How would time travel work? Like, that's the whole thing. It's like...
you would generally, if I build a machine, okay, theoretically, I'm gonna make it so once it transports me to whatever time I choose, it will only do that, allowing if I'm not gonna die immediately, like
by being 100 million miles away from
like
Earth,
in,
right?
in dark space,
Yeah.
or something.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I would think part of the science, theoretical science of it would be to, put you where you're thinking, not like in the realms of the universe, like you would be
Yeah.
on Earth still.
Yeah, because I was always thinking, I always have the argument in my head, like, well, maybe someday it could be possible, for time travel. Like maybe someday it could be, right? But well, here's the thing. But then I'd think to myself, it's not possible, and it never will be, because if it was, we would know about it by now, because someone would have screwed up, like 200 million years in the future, would come back, be like, I want to see what year 0 was like.
What if we are the screw up?
Yeah.
Yeah. What if we are the screw up timeline?
Well, we would still, because someone would have to go back and screw it up.
No,
and
you
we
just
would
get the
know.
You don't know, it
TVA
just
and they just
becomes
put a
the
reset
timeline.
charge.
It's just the timeline.
You just get a reset charge, fixed timeline.
So I could be cool somewhere else.
No, that's
Not anymore.
No,
That's a different branch of the timeline.
that
Sorry.
was something that would have happened if not for the flub up.
Oh, so because of that, I would say, because that brings in like the whole multiverse thing too, you know, where it's like there could be a million of you. Do you think that's a thing?
It's cool to think about.
It's cool
Doubtful.
to think about, but here's what I'm going to tell you. So
I just want to pick his brain on this.
everything in the universe is actually what we call time is actually the procession of cause and events. Okay.
Yes.
To every event, there was a cause that made the
Cause
event
and
happen.
effect.
Right? Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
here?
yeah.
Cause and effect. That's how it's always been, and that's actually what we call time. Is the sequence of cause and effect. Would you guys agree with that? For the most part.
Yeah.
So, in order to do this, you actually have to undo the causes and the effects and go backward and undo them bit by bit, like trying to untangle a cord, but one that's already molded and formed. And that's how do you do that? Do you get what I'm saying? How exactly do you go back and undo what is done?
Just ask Tony Stark.
Wormholes.
Wormholes, but how does that actually undo what has been done?
You don't
Even
question the wormhole.
Like, even when they have tried to research black holes, they still look at the gravitational force and they see, oh, it slows down the rate of time, but it never reverses it.
That's a
Yeah.
laughable concept, trying to research black holes.
I know.
I love
isn't
when
it?
scientists do that stupid crap.
I
Like, you
definitely
know a
agree.
dang thing. But whatever.
We do know that with more powerful gravitational forces, time seems to pass normally, but outside, time is passing at a much...
From a view, it will be so much slower.
Okay. So now leading into kind of like the third thing here, and this is what I was going to get to, I just got to tell you. What's a more realistic possibility? That time travel will ever be a thing? Or that there are other realities that we're able to jump between at some point?
How would you jump to a
I
different
don't
reality?
know. I have no idea.
Changing the timeline.
Yeah.
So...
Because like if it's a timeline, you know, and there's one here, there's one going this way, being able to jump across the other
However,
one.
if there isn't
What-
an alternative...
What's more...
Can I
If
tell
you
what's
had
the
to
most
say
realistic
one...
of all the things you've mentioned,
Yes,
it'd
that's
be
what-
teleportation
Okay.
and not time.
There you go, yeah. I agree with that.
Travel. Teleportation is the most realistic of those, or the most attainable, in my opinion. I would say time travel or dimensional shifting.
Yeah,
Not so
I
much.
agree. What's your definition of, like, feasible teleportation? Is that just moving so fast? Or is it, like,
Beam me up, Scotty.
breaking something down to a molecular level and then, like, passing through some sort of whatever machine this is?
I would say...
Like in Willy Wonka.
Yes.
Moving chocolate from one...
No, but, yes.
Oh.
Well, I would say...
thought I was onto
I don't
something.
know that this part is necessarily attainable. I would say that, kind of like what you
Just by
described, is
theory
probably one of
crap.
the most realistic. But what I would consider proper teleportation is the ability to go from point A and point B instantaneously, no matter what distance it is.
Sure.
The concept of speed is probably more likely, as we could be more
That's
likely to
what I'm
actually
saying,
send molecular levels of particles
Yep.
across some type of transport tube and get them there at an incredibly high rate. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And getting them there is the more likely action. Now, you're not going to do this with organic matter and expect it to come out alive, of course. But
Which is why you teleport chocolate.
That's how it worked in
Willy
the
Wonka.
movie, yeah.
It worked. I mean, just like Rick and Morty are able to go from one dimension to another, so clearly it has to work, right?
No.
Are you sure?
No.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
It only works with Pickle Rick, and he's not real.
so
That was the
that's
funniest thing I've ever seen.
that's my
I don't
thought
watch.
on it.
I don't watch Rick and Morty, so
I have
just know the
nothing with
memes.
this. I can't wrap my head around it.
See, I can't
That
either.
much.
That's
it's fun
why I
in
bring it
movies.
up.
Yeah, it is.
That's all you really need to worry about.
Like it's a fun concept to think about. I'm not smart enough to do it.
No one
but
is.
It's one of those things where it's like it's
Especially,
fun just to pick brains of other people that are smarter and just hear their opinion. That's why I brought it up, because I want to hear what Weston has to say about this.
So I don't know. I actually prefer to think about the like you say, traveling between dimensions. I prefer to think about other dimensions of the dimension we're in, because you're always thinking of like width, depth, height. You've also got time as being a fourth dimension. Do you realize that there are theoretically, I think, 16 or 32 different dimensions? Something like that? That we just can't even perceive?
How many of them have this room at a normal temperature?
Things
right now?
outside of your perception. That is a good talking point.
You see, I don't get some of that stuff. Like, how do they even reach?
You can't.
You can't.
Because it's outside of your perception. You can't perceive. And even if you could somehow find a way to perceive that thing that is outside of your perception, is that its normal state, or did it change because you perceived it?
Great question.
Yeah,
Great question.
I always like to think about that for no apparent reason whatsoever.
Theoretics, gotta love them.
Yeah, because there's a lot of different ways we could go down on with this conversation here, but it's like with the thought of time travel. And then it got into the teleportation thing, because I'm like, well, that makes perfect sense, So if you did have a time machine, like let's say they figured that out, they would have to make it then to where it's like relative to the machine within a certain area. So like how would they do that then? Like, hey, I want to go here at this point, but it'd be like teleportation then as well. But you'd have to say, okay, now it's going to go, 1,500 miles to the northeast. To that exact spot, right? Like that's the only other way I can think of to do it.
Well, I would say that if you are going to have that kind of time travel, you would need some type of positional reassignment as well to ensure that you get to where you need to be.
So teleportation.
Some level of teleportation, yes. So
it'd be a part of the machine, just generally. I would figure.
So what we're
if
saying,
someone found the science for that, they'd find the science for that as well.
Yeah.
So what we're saying is you need a TARDIS.
But you're not the doctor.
Okay, Doctor Who.
Now, here's a question, though. Okay. So if someone created a time machine, whatever, and changed and went to a different time, which physically makes a new reality, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Theoretically, the moment that somebody does time travel, it creates a schism.
So that old branch of reality, the original, is gone then, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you just destroyed an entire universe of time that makes you the greatest villain ever by just going to a different time. So let's hope no one does that, because we're all dead. We cease to exist.
Well, we would be alive just on another timeline.
Maybe.
Theoretically, assuming they didn't change
we would
something.
be in the TVA.
Butterfly effect would take in as well.
Right, I mean,
and that's what you're like. If you just like step on an ant, it could cause a. Is that what you're talking about?
That's what the theory is.
Yeah. Okay. Like you step on an ant.
Go back to the prehistoric times.
Years ago and
step on a butterfly. Come back. You screw up the planet.
What if I can make
What was that movie called?
The Butterfly Effect. That's what it was
called.
called.
Yeah.
Oh, it was.
It's actually a pretty decent movie.
It's a pretty decent movie.
It's a pretty decent movie. Check it out.
Oh, we're talking about movies, yeah.
Because
Full circle.
He's from Iowa.
They step on the butterfly, come back because they didn't get the organic removal thing on when they come back from the timeline when they shoot that dinosaur.
I don't know if that's the exact same movie, but his movie is about that too. He changes things. He has that ability or whatever, and it progressively gets much, much worse every single time he changes something.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I think there's an episode of Family Guy where they go back and prevent 9/11, but then like everything just falls apart. If I remember right.
I don't know. I haven't watched Family Guy.
Yeah, like you just change one small thing. In that case, it was huge though. But like you change one thing and everything falls apart. I wonder though. It does make you wonder, because it's like at the same time, let's say, because I know you said that's our timeline that would be deleted or whatever. But if someone were to go back, 100 years, and
if that's how it works,
yeah, like let's say that's how it worked or whatever. Let's say 1,000 years from now, someone's like, okay, we're gonna go back to the 1930s and we're gonna take out Hitler. Like, that probably would have happened, right? So that should tell you right there, time travel could never be a thing, or they haven't figured it out ever, or they never will,
Well,
because no one's gone back and
Or is
stopped
there a
all these
strong
things.
rule saying that they can't do that?
That's also true.
I mean, you would
There's-
screw up everything.
It's true.
See,
regardless.
well,
It's
if you stop
just
and
your
think about
presence
it.
there.
Yeah, if you take out Hitler, you got to think, okay, World War II never happened, unless Italy did something, but we can snuff them out really
I
quick.
would be willing to say almost Japan would probably still do something.
Or Russia.
However,
I'd
that
say
doesn't
Russia.
mean that we would have had the same effect in Europe, and so
Yeah.
the European economy may never have bounced back, or at least not as quickly. And that could
and
have caused,
also the United
There's
States too,
unending
because
variables.
we were coming out of depression when the war
Never-ending
happened.
variables that could change.
So that helped
So
a lot. The propel.
why
so
the-
there's so many things that
Yeah.
would just be.
That's why
Throw into
theoretically
chaos.
it's like the most dangerous thing you can do. You know.
Well, yeah,
You're
that's why I'm
screwing
like,
everything
that's
up.
in my mind, it would never happen because something would have been drastically changed at this point. And like, I feel like we would have heard about a time traveler, you know?
Or
Oh,
our original.
There's a theory we can get into. There are people out there that say they have come back in time, and it's hilarious. I think we should dive into this sometime.
That's a conversation
that actually,
we
okay.
should have one of these days.
yeah,
PK's
Next
got to be
time.
here for that one.
Oh yeah, like maybe next week we could talk about
Maybe.
that. That could be your
we'll see.
topic.
But
You'll
we'll
do
remember.
some,
I'll do some research and we'll see.
yeah,
well, I think
we could react to different like predictions. Or someone's like, yeah, they said this is gonna happen.
the Mayan calendar.
Some are just ridiculous. Some are like, that's actually feasible.
There's
I don't
another
think it's real,
theory we
but,
could
you
talk
know.
about in another topic as well. Is the pyramid theory, like about the pyramids.
Which one? There's a
well,
lot of those.
like how they were built by aliens, because there's ones in there that's like perfectly centered with the land masses on Earth, and there's also the ones in
It's called slave
that
labor.
are
It is
perfectly
called slavery.
like
Hundreds of pounds,
perfectly aligned.
Hundreds of thousands of slaves. That's what it's done.
Well, no, there's a lot of stuff we can. I'll bring it up sometime. We can talk about.
You know,
it 'cause
there's
it'd
this.
be interesting.
Sorry, we're just getting to weird stuff, but you know, some guy like recreated Stonehenge by himself in his backyard by just using a plank of wood, like using leverage and like leveraging. He like moved his whole house one time. So
With one board.
like a couple different like strengthened boards of like a pivot kind of. It was weird. I watched it, but
You should find it and send it to me.
it's crazy. I'll have to try to find it. I think it was on
All
the
right.
History Channel, but
I think we're like
Yeah.
we're way
Sorry.
We're
off
way
course
off.
now. So
Yeah.
we
Went
went
down a
down
big
so many
rabbit trail.
rabbit holes there.
yeah. So I mean that's normal, but that's
Especially
just
on
what I
yours.
wanted to talk about. I don't know. It seemed
Okay.
like it'd be interesting to pick your brain on it, and then just kind of bring up a few little points on it like that. So I guess now that being said, we let Weston talk a lot during the last topic, but I think it's also time that we let him bring up his topic now. So
Oh, this is a good one.
Okay.
I'm excited.
what do you got?
So, my topic for this week is going to be this. So, what are some of your guys' favorite video games that are underrated or there's like it's overshadowed? Like, one of my examples is actually from a series that's really popular, but some of these games in the series get overshadowed by the better games in the series or more
Sure.
popular ones. So, like, I'll bring a couple of them out here, and then we can pick your games or guys' ideas for a few of yours. So, like, one of them that is near and dear to my heart is The Legend of Dragoon.
Okay,
Have you
yeah.
guys ever heard of that?
Never heard of it.
It's a fantastic game.
The name is familiar, but I don't know what genre it is. Like I've heard the
RPG.
name.
It is.
Okay.
Okay, have you played Final Fantasy? It's pretty much
very
a
similar.
Sony Final Fantasy, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Okay.
It is really, like, I loved that game, okay?
Worst graphics ever in a video game.
Most assuredly. That's why there's a petition with 27,000
To remake
signatures
it,
To
yeah.
remake it.
Can you
Have you-
imagine Bluepoint remaking that game or something?
Are you on that petition?
I may or may not be on that petition.
surprise
Okay.
there.
Before we move on, I just want to say you guys said worst graphics ever. Have you seen PS1 Hagrid?
Okay, we're not talking to you right now. But
Have you seen Legend of Dragoon? Because they're crap.
it
Is it worse than PS1
But the
Hagrid?
story
Well,
in
it's
Legend of
PS1 too,
Dragoon
but-
is to die
It's really
for.
good, yeah.
It is really an incredible story. And then their actual elements, like, it's an RPG, but it's not one of those where you just simply make a selection, do this action.
Sure.
They have an addition system where you actually have to time your button presses to land at better attack combos. It is
Which wasn't
very
a
creative.
huge thing back
We're
then.
not- no.
Early
So-
1990s.
PS1
so
Hagrid.
that's one.
Oh, that's way better.
Is it really?
For some of the models that they had, that is better.
Oh God.
Yeah. Okay. So
It was just another Final Fantasy game, really. I thought so. It was fun, though.
see another one, like I was saying, for series Final Fantasy. I feel like 5 is underrated. I feel like 8 is underrated.
8 is
compared
on
to
my
7.
list. I was going to talk about 8, so.
Well, so I'll leave that one to
All
you,
right.
okay? I also feel like 9 is a bit underrated, especially in the shadow of 7.
Honestly, yeah, there's a bunch there. 9 and 8.
Have you
6
played
is pretty
Final
good
Fantasy?
too.
6 is phenomenal.
But 6 has a lot of critical
It
acclaim.
has a lot of good acclaim to it. That's why I didn't count it as one of the underrated ones. 5, though, gets way overshadowed by 4 and 6.
I don't know if I played 5, to be honest.
Oh, it is actually really well done.
I played 4.
If you guys get a chance, I recommend it if you're into those games. It's definitely an RPG.
They're
but
not.
I figured.
Nick, I don't know. You might be able to get into it. Maybe not.
And then I'm just going to
Final
mention
Fantasy?
Yeah,
one
I don't
more
know if you would
before
or
I
not.
I don't. If
throw it
it's-
back at
I
you
need a
guys,
lot
but-
of battling and.
Well, there's a lot of battling. It's just not an. It's an RPG, but whatever.
So it's turn-based RPG.
Yeah, he's probably a no-go. Jordan doesn't play games that I recommend, so I just don't even talk to
He
him.
doesn't play good games.
That's
you mean.
true.
Okay, so the last one I'm going to mention
Love
before I
you,
turn it over to
Jordan.
you guys. I have more, but I'll turn over to you guys after this.
Have you played The Witcher yet?
Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver. You guys ever?
I
played
remember.
those?
Yeah,
I never heard of
I
it.
remember the
Okay.
Soul Reaver games.
I've never heard of it.
Not great graphics again, but the dialogue in that game is the best dialogue I've seen in any video game ever. It is just so entertaining and so natural. Like, it is phenomenally well done.
That's a big comment there.
Like, I have seen some incredible dialogue in games.
Mm-hmm.
Legacy of
Okay.
Kain, Soul Reaver. I am still like, I almost play the game just for the dialogue option sometimes.
I remember playing that demo and remember when PlayStation 1 came with demo discs still?
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, I love those.
Those are amazing.
I love
Right?
those.
I remember
things.
playing. Was it Soul Reaver 2 or something? On
Yeah,
that?
there's Soul Reaver 2.
Yeah.
1 and 2.
I
That
actually
was
might
fun.
have a couple demo discs. For
I still do.
for PS2.
I would just break them out sometimes, but no, I don't.
That'd be fun, man. Oh,
I did one time. It was a
That's
long
actually
time ago.
something we should do. Is like a let's play video or
I
something.
have a bunch. We could do
All
that.
right.
We just play the
but
demos.
yeah.
We should do that.
Yeah.
But I want
Alright.
to hear you guys' thoughts. What are some of your favorite underrated video games?
Underrated.
Okay, so
games.
there's a game that it's near and dear to my heart, and I know it's near and dear to a ton of other people's hearts as well. But it
Is it
seems like,
underrated
well, here's the thing.
or overrated.
Whenever I bring it up on stream, I would say 70% of people have never played it, which I find it really hard to
Okay.
believe because I grew up with this game, and that would be Banjo-Kazooie.
Okay.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah,
But-
I heard of it. Yeah, I played a little bit too.
It seems like more people haven't played it when I bring it up. They're like, I've never played it, never heard of it. And I'm like, that's one of my all-time favorite games.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like
It was like the I don't know, almost like a copy of Crash Bandicoot back in the day.
well, Crash Bandicoot was more
Sure, there were different mechanics to the
you're
games.
you're
and stuff.
constantly
Yeah.
running down a hill in Crash Bandicoot.
Sometimes,
almost. But
yeah, there are levels that like that.
yeah, but
but
this
that
is
came out
open
the
world,
same
kind of.
area, or the same era, I should say,
Very
Yeah.
similar
and very
aesthetics.
similar aesthetics, like game styles and stuff. So.
yeah. See, and I never had Crash Bandicoot. The first
Really?
time I ever played
Those are
a
fun
Crash
games
game,
back in the day.
I played. Is it the remastered, like the trilogy? You know.
Yeah,
it-
they came out not
Yeah.
too long ago.
yeah. So I forget
got
what they
that on
call
One,
it.
two, and
PlayStation.
Warped.
I got
3.
that on PlayStation 2, all three of
Yeah,
them.
which
Oh.
I feel like actually though with the remastered ones, and this is a different conversation for a different day. I think they made them significantly harder because there's no way those games were that hard back in the day, and people were passing them as kids.
They were kind of difficult,
They were actually quite
I-
challenging.
especially
could
on
not do
different
it.
levels of difficulty.
But anyways, that's a different conversation. But yeah, so
Banjo-Kazooie?
Banjo-Kazooie,
Okay.
that's one because
It could be underrated. I would say that's fine being underrated.
yeah, see, because
It's
it just
pretty
seems
popular,
like
though.
for me in my head, it's like it's top tier game ever made. But then when I talk about it to people, oh, I've never heard of it or I've never played it, I'm like, how? That's what I grew
I haven't
up
played
with.
through all of them.
See, I've only played the first one. I haven't played
Okay.
Banjo-Tooie, which I know is, and then like there's Nuts and Bolts as well.
Well, I mean, he's in Smash now, so he's
That's
got
true.
some notoriety.
That is true.
Mm-hmm.
Another game that I never played, but I thoroughly enjoyed when I played it. Same exact thing. Conker's Bad Fur Day. That was
Okay.
that was just funny. Like I feel like there's more people that haven't played that because it was rated M.
It's kind of
on
a
the
meme.
Nintendo-
I think a
It-
lot of
it's
people
more of
have
a
It
played
meme
is.
than
that.
anything.
It is. And the sense of humor though is my exact.
Sure,
sense
it
of
was
humor.
it was more mature rated humor and stuff for what
Yeah.
was out at during that time.
Yes. And
But
so
a lot
I
of people have played that, and a lot of people want a remake or a remaster of that.
see now. Was it as popular though? I'd still say it's underrated. Or in the most part, I'd say a lot of
It's-
people haven't played it.
It's more known or popular and played than Banjo-Kazooie, maybe, which
See,
is a tough sell.
I would
but
say it's opposite of that. I'd say
don't know.
Banjo-Kazooie has played more than
Like-
Conker's, but I don't know. Another
at least
game,
in the circles that I like see and I'm in a little
Okay.
bit, I'd say it is, but I don't know like broad population, I guess.
Seeing in my circles that I know, it's the opposite, where more people have played banjo than Conkers.
But I know people who played Conkers just for the memes.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I played it, was for the memes at first. I'm like, you know what? I've never played it. It's made by Rare. It's rated M. I'm like, this just seems like it's going to be hilarious. And I remember the first time I hit the Great Mighty Pooh, I was in tears laughing, dude. When he's singing that song, I'm like, this is my favorite thing ever. This is like one of my all-time favorite games now.
I'll keep that in mind for my topic.
I adore it.
But notice there's a lot of games that were kind of all in that genre that came out at the same time.
Well, yeah.
Like Conkers and Banjo and Crash and Spyro.
3D platformers, that was a huge thing back in the 90s.
Some of those are really good, too.
Yeah.
Super Mario 64 still holds up. Banjo-Kazooie holds up. Donkey Kong 64 holds up. I think. I got Donkey Kong sitting on my computer right now. Like, it's one of my favorite games as well, which I've actually never beat, though. It was always so hard for me as a kid. I could never make it past the ending of the games. I'm not a good gamer.
We know that.
I'm terrible
Is
at
that why you
games.
don't play games that we tell you to play?
I just don't have time.
Don't lie to me with this.
Don't lie to us.
That is
with
the
that.
biggest lie. But whatever. Sure, okay.
I'm trying to think of other games that, and I know there's one that's
Banjo,
gonna pop in my
Conkers.
head.
Okay.
Because even Conkers, I'd say was because like I said, I never heard of it until Rare Replay. And then I saw it, I'm like, what is this? And I clicked on it, and I started playing it one day just on a whim, because on stream I was going through Rare Replay. Like, you've never heard of it? You have to play it. I'm like, all right. So I gave that a shot, and it immediately became one of my favorite games. I mean, you're an alcoholic squirrel, for God's
much.
sake. Like,
Pretty much.
what's not to love about that? Like, it's just funny. I'll think of other games as
To each
well.
their own. Sure.
We can
Yeah.
bounce through
Yeah,
here, so.
yeah, for sure.
Did you say anything yet, Nick?
Yeah, I had I think some people play this Mercenaries.
Yeah.
Playground of Destruction.
Mm-hmm.
I just loved it because like
Early 2000s?
early 2000s, and this was like one of the big games me and my brother got on our PlayStation. We didn't know anything about it, and we just started playing with it. And it's awesome how like it's kind of like they're invading North Korea, and they kind of have the map set up like Pyeongchang was like a big city that was there, but it was like it's kind of like Grand Theft Auto, but you're a mercenary that helps out other organizations like South Koreans, the Allies, Russians. The Russians, Allies, South Korea, and there's one more. I can't think of it.
You can think of it later.
Chinese, the Chinese.
Okay.
And then you all have the same enemy against North Korea, and it's just so much fun. And then there's a thing called the Deck of 52, which is all the North Korean like each level you go through. So there's 52, so divide that by 4. There's about
The top heads that you want to assassinate
Yeah.
or kill or whatever.
so like you go through like we'll just say you go through the clubs. This is your first one. The clubs are just like propaganda workers and stuff like that, and like you go from the 2 clubs all the way up to the king of clubs, and then like once you get enough like intel, you can go after the ace of clubs, which the more you get these bounties on them, I think like face cards are like $100,000 and the ace is like $1 million, but the ace of spades, which is like the leader of North Korea, I actually got on the spades, but I never finished it. And he's like $100 million. Like the bounties keep going up and up and up. Like so, then the next one's like officers, and like high-ranking generals, and then the next is like chemical warfare people, and then it's like the Ace of Spades like hierarchy, like his like bodyguards and stuff like that.
I've never even heard of this game before.
It came out
it's
early
a lot of fun.
2000s. It was
It's
kind
an
of
older one, but
like a knockoff GTA,
Yeah.
almost like a precursor to Just Cause, I would say almost.
Probably.
Oh, I love Just Cause.
But
It was
it's-
kind of like that.
But
Or
it's
a
fun.
similar genre at least.
But it's fun because, like, the Russians are like the coolest, I think, because you can buy like cars from them and like military equipment and stuff like
Russia
that.
says everything.
And that's pretty fun. But then like everybody has like different vehicles that are like cool. Like the Chinese has got like a rocket tank, and me and my brother we just as kids we're like, we'll just go blow up this city. So then we just started knocking down cities, left and right with this thing. It's a tank pretty much that shoots rockets. So much fun.
What's it called?
Mercenaries Playground Destruction. They made a Mercenaries
Playground of
2.
Destruction and Mercenaries 2.
Yeah, they made
not
that
too
on the
long after, but-
360.
I'm trying to pull Steam up, but I had updates.
Yeah,
It's a lot of fun.
I was gonna see if it was on
It was
Steam.
kind of didn't have a huge lifespan in the
Yeah.
market. You know, it was I guess you could a decently big name title when it came
It
out.
was. Activision, I think, made it.
and then it had maybe a year or less than a year of like its heyday, and then it was kind of done. And Mercenaries 2 came out, and I don't think it was very popular.
No.
It was
There's
pretty much a dud, I
Mercenaries
think, but-
Blaze. That's not probably the same one though.
No, Playgrounds of Destruction. Was
Yeah,
the first one.
that's not on there.
It's older.
So.
Was that Xbox original?
PlayStation 2.
PlayStation 2?
Is
Yeah.
what I had.
Okay.
It could be on Xbox. I don't remember.
I'm not sure.
But I know I had it for my PlayStation 2, and it was a lot of fun to play. Because like you can like have AK-47s, M16, sniper rifles, rocket launchers, missile launchers, everything. It's just, and then of course when you get bored, you're like, let's look up the cheat codes. So then you find yourself a helicopter, get unlimited health, unlimited ammo, and you just go to town on everybody.
Dude, cheat codes back in the day were so
We're
much
so
fun.
cool.
They were so
I know,
OP,
right?
man.
So much
You
fun.
felt
OP.
like such a boss, and you're like, dude, I went on the internet and I looked up these cheat codes. And
Yeah,
I could
but
beat
like
this game
if
now.
you were on the internet looking up cheat codes in
Way back
2000 or
you
like
were-
the
you were
late
the real
90s,
deal,
like
man.
you were the cool one. Either that, or do you remember going into Walmart and just finding the game guides and looking
Yeah.
at the cheat codes in that?
Yep.
Dude, I miss those days. Like,
Remember-
life was just so different back then.
Remember
It's-
when games always had like a booklet
Yes.
that
Yep.
came with it? Remember when we had a video game rental place, like in Esterville? And you look in the back notes, and everyone's written down all the cheat codes, and you're like, everything you just add to it.
Yeah,
That was the best.
dude, those
Open
were
up
the
the game
days.
guide and see what happens.
Those were
See,
the
I never
days.
had that. I just my
you,
aunt bought.
you missed out.
Yeah,
man.
my
You
aunt,
missed
you
my
out.
aunt
just
bought me.
missed out.
My aunt bought me a PS2 for Christmas. And I thought I was on top of the world.
That was a bit. You were a bit young, probably,
Yeah.
for those days.
Yeah.
No, but I remember the cheat codes. Like you ordered them through the Scholastic Book Fair at school. We always try to get like the
That-
updated
Well,
version.
you guys remember like the Game Sharks and stuff like that?
Oh yeah,
I
had
have
a
an
Game
action
Shark.
replay for my DS
Yeah,
actually, and I
yeah.
could pop in Pokemon and like everything would be shiny. And
A Game Shark for FF7. Remember that?
Yes. Yes.
Give me everything.
And then another famous one, another. It's not famous, but it's another racing game I like to play was Midnight Club 3.
Okay.
Oh,
Hub
dude,
Edition.
I remember
Hub
those games.
Edition.
I played Midnight Club 2 at a friend's house a couple times and really enjoyed it.
Yeah,
It was fun.
it's a lot of fun because like you go from different cities. Like you go from I think Los Angeles, Detroit, Atlanta, San Diego, and another major city in the United States. I can't think of it, but it was kind of fun. You buy the best cars. You get different classes.
Sure.
It was
Yeah.
fun. And
Yeah.
also it was entertaining as a kid to do all that stuff.
Yeah.
I love
memories,
how far
right?
behind Chad is because of the MediaCom.
Oh, I know.
Acting
it
up.
sucks. But
Like
it's
they're just
terrible.
now getting to the time travel and everything and teleportation in time travel on the stream because it's that far
that's
behind.
rough, buddy. That's rough, buddy.
That's rough.
We need to get fiber optics in here.
Dude, we just need to get a different company that's not MediaCom. Another
There's
game.
nothing that
I
works.
know. There's nothing. There's another
around
game
here.
I thought of though that could be underrated, and it. All of mine, I guess, are going back to my childhood games because you
Sure.
know I
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if it's because they always are going to hold a special place in my heart because I grew up playing them.
Yeah.
Well,
But
that's
there
why,
was
yeah.
another Nintendo 64 game, Wave Race.
Okay.
I remember that.
I loved that game, dude. It was so cool. You're just on jet skis, and it's just a racing game, but with jet skis. I mean, it seems pretty.
Sure.
It was so much fun, dude.
Was Morpheus on that?
no.
Low key reference.
Then you had like Cruisin' USA.
Low-key.
Like Cruisin' USA was
Low-key
another one that I really
reference.
enjoyed. That I feel like maybe a lot of people played, but in my mind, it wasn't a super
Wave Racer?
popular
I don't
game.
think so.
No, Cruisin' USA.
Oh, I doubt it.
That was another one I really enjoyed. I'm trying to think of just all these childhood games that just are like
It's good
so
stuff.
You guys-
near
Good
and
stuff.
dear to
You guys
my
remember
heart.
SSX?
Yeah.
Like
Oh, the
snowboarding?
snowboarding
Tricky?
game.
Tricky, yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah,
that's
dude.
popular then.
Yeah,
I-
that was. I had that on
It wasn't
GameCube.
that popular.
But I've
it
seen
was
a lot
kind of a
like-
cult classic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
I had it on
360.
GameCube.
360 remade the game,
Yeah.
and
yeah.
there's like a lot of people hopped on board on that one. I think because
Yeah,
I had some
I
friends that
remember
really played it
I remember
hardcore.
that.
You got any for us, Stan?
Of course I do. Like I was saying, might be my favorite game of all time. Maybe Final Fantasy VIII. It's up there. Might be tied, but it really had a rough like welcome with being a successor to FF7, which was like
That wasn't the online one, was it?
no.
Okay.
No.
First online one was
11.
11. I don't know any Final Fantasy
7
games. I just
you're missing out.
Yeah.
I know you're not a JRPG guy, but
yeah.
you're missing out.
What 7's just that?
7 was like is probably in consideration for the greatest RPG of all time.
Mm-hmm.
And everything. It was just so revolutionary, storytelling and everything. And you look back at it on it now, and you're like, some people, if you don't have that love for it, you're like, wow, this is such a stupid game.
Is that the one they just did the remake of?
They just
Yes.
did a remake
Okay.
last year. Yeah.
Okay.
After 20 plus years of people just
Asking for a
wanting
remake,
it, and
yeah.
they finally gave it, and it was not what I wanted, to be honest. But anyway, Final Fantasy VIII had a rough start because they're so different. They did absolutely different everything compared to 7. So there's a lot of hate to it, but I love it so much. I actually yesterday, I got Logan to started playing it, so we were chatting all day about it, and he's getting into it. But so good, so good.
So Final Fantasy games,
Mhm.
like, can you just give like a general storyline?
They're each different.
Everyone is a different story,
like, what-
completely independent.
So when I think of Final Fantasy, I think of like just like a fantasy world. Like,
Kind of, yeah. Each is its own. And it's different.
Mm-hmm.
Like just a quick rundown, I guess, of 8. You are essentially like a college student in the broadest of terms or vaguest of terms. You go to what they call a garden, which is this big school kind of thing, and you learn to be you're like a mercenary soldier. That's what you're trying to become, like a mercenary student. And it just evolves into this huge storyline of assassination attempts and like a sorceress that's trying to destroy the world and take over things, which becomes more even in-depth crazy stuff later on that I won't say, but it's just a fantastic single-player story game.
Agreed.
You're the hero trying to save. The
Kind
world,
of.
pretty much.
I mean, essentially, yeah. That's how it ends up being, I guess. But fantastic. Recommend it.
Mm-hmm.
It's if you like the JRPG stuff. It's got its campy. It's basically a romance story, to be honest. But it's campy, cheesy, but so good.
There was one game
So good.
that I had on my Vita,
Vita. Okay.
and
That's a
I
while.
don't remember what it was called, but I guess the more I hear you guys talk about Final Fantasy, the more I'm thinking of this game.
Okay.
And it's just because it was a JRPG that had like the turn-based combat and stuff, and I actually really kind of enjoyed it.
There's a lot of those.
Something Moon, I think. Maybe. If I had my Vita, I'd just be able to tell you right off the back.
There are a lot that have.
I know, but
I'm thinking of as Harvest Moon. I'm like, that's totally different.
no.
Simulation.
Maybe, let's see. PS Vita JRPG PS Plus because it was a free game.
Okay.
So maybe if I can find it, you guys can keep talking. I just know it was one that I actually really kind of enjoyed for whatever stupid reason, and I don't know why. I never made it far, never completed it because I just never played my Vita all that much. But when
Sure.
I did play it, it was one of those things. It was fun. I don't know why. I heard Freedom Wars is a really good one as well. I just saw that on the list here.
I don't know.
I
What
don't-
it is.
I-
That one, you start out with I think it's a 1,000,000-year prison sentence, and you have to try to reduce it as low as you possibly can by doing different stuff. And it's kind of a cool.
Is it a simulation game too? Like top down, maybe?
I'll be honest, I am really not
Okay.
entirely. I never played it. It's one that I bought for my Vita because I heard nothing but good things about it. But then I just stopped playing my Vita, because
Oh, it was a dying thing anyway.
it was, and it was a dying thing when I bought it, and then it hit the point with my Vita, I guess, where the left joystick, it's either the left or right one. I think it was the right one, was kind of like bugged out, and it would just constantly kind of rotate you to the right if you didn't hold it.
Okay.
And
So
I'm
some
like,
drift.
yeah, it had some drift to it. So I just,
Joy-Con drift.
yeah.
I was about to say the Joy-Con drift issue,
Yeah. Interesting, but
but
Yeah.
yeah. So I
Yeah,
love
like-
8 as well.
and 8 was popular, but it was definitely underrated. It kind of signifies that description perfectly, I think. But another game. Oh, I don't know if you guys ever heard of the game called Alan Wake.
I've heard of it. I've never
That's
played
one
it,
of
though.
the greatest games I've ever played. So fantastic. It's a kind of like a thriller adventure game. It was on, I think it was purely on Xbox 360. I don't know if that's correct or not, but you are a writer who he has super bad writer's block, and he's going on a vacation to Night Spring. I think it's Night Springs. Can't remember the name of the town. I think it's supposed to be in Colorado or something. to try with his wife to try and get, through this writer's block and continue writing this book he's supposed to be writing. But your wife disappears and it's all a mystery and no one remembers you ever having a wife, and all of a sudden everything starts going wacky, and when night falls, the darkness is possesses things and people and animals and stuff, and they try to kill you, and your only source of weaponry is light.
Okay.
And trying to piece this story together and find the source of all of it, which ends up being this, I don't know, supernatural author or narrator to the story, which ends up being, maybe some form of you, the writer.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because you end up playing through this game, which is one of the stories you were writing. You find the notes of the story that you're playing through the world, in the world. It's a fascinating story how they did everything and stuff.
Yeah.
Really memorable characters, and just it's all around amazing, and it's super underrated. There was it got some really cool DLC too, his philosophical metaphysical kind of thought processes in this game, but it had I think it was called American Nightmare or something, it was an arcade game on Xbox 360. It was a little bit of a successor to it, but there are talks of another game or a remake or a remaster or something coming out, because I don't know if you guys remember the game Control that came out a couple years back when it was Game of the Year.
Yeah.
Made by the same people in the same universe. They talk about Alan Wake in the game, so I have big hopes for that. Definitely, I recommend everyone check that game out. It's so good, so good.
Yeah, and I found that game I was talking about. It's called Rainbow Moon. Was the name of it?
Never heard of it.
I'd never heard of it.
I never had either, but it was a free game for Vita way back in the day. And here's a short little description I got here. Rainbow Moon is a tactical role-playing game developed by SideQuest Studios and published by East Asia Soft. It was released to the PlayStation Network for PlayStation 3, Vita, and PlayStation 4. And you can actually buy it for $15. And I don't know, when I played it on the Vita, it was a fun thing to do just to kill time while I was at work.
Sure.
I don't know, maybe if I were to go back and try it right now, I wouldn't enjoy it as much, but back in 2015 when I would just be sitting in a car doing nothing for work, I was like, you know what, this is kind of a fun time killer. And it said in the description it has 40 hours of content, which I know I never made it anywhere close. But it was a fun game. I mean, it's not, I wouldn't say top tier,
Sure.
but it was one of those that I had fun playing. And
Yeah,
I know a lot
that's all that matters.
no one else on this table has even heard of it before. So that might be one of those that I might.
Sure.
I don't want to say it's underrated or anything like that, because like I said, I didn't even remember the name of it.
It would be underrated because it's not rated for the most part.
Yeah, I mean that could be true.
It's
and
just
on Google,
an unknown game, right?
Yeah, and on Google here it said 68% liked this game, because you can give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down.
Gotcha.
So 68% gave it a thumbs up, which is not very good. But
for a super unknown game, it's not terrible though. It's above 50%.
Yeah.
Which is a win for a game that no one knows.
It's
I think.
really true.
That's true.
Yeah,
I kind of enjoyed it. Now I got 70% on Metacritic, it looks like here. It was just one of those that
could be worse.
Yeah, it definitely could be worse. So I might have to go back and try it. Just
Try
break
it,
out
see
my
it. I don't
Vita
know.
someday.
I've never heard of it, but yeah,
honestly,
They're on European countries right now.
yeah,
What's going on?
Oh, he said that he's reading what they're just getting to, and it. Yeah, they're way far behind because of Mediacom. So just
that sucks.
I'm not even looking at chat anymore. Cause
check that VOD or the
YouTube video.
YouTube video.
Yeah, we'll be up on there.
Yeah, so those were my two big ones, I guess. There's, I don't know, when Telltale Games, remember, was a big thing.
Oh, dude, I love those games.
Those are really fun.
Oh, those were super fun.
I know you've played it. Tales from the Borderlands.
Yes.
Was so freaking fantastic.
It was so good, man.
So good. I mean, if you guys have ever played the Borderlands series at all, really good. Totally recommend. Fantastic world. Great comedic storytelling and characters and stuff. Just top tier for that. Tales from the Borderlands was a different switch up. It was from the Telltale series of video games that were really big. I don't know, less than 10 years back, right?
Oh, yeah, that was 2015, 16, 17.
5, something like that.
Yeah, so I'd say 5 years ago they were...
They since closed and then were bought out, right?
Yes.
which could be coming back. Different games like that. So
I'm gonna look up and see when the
we'll
Walking
see.
Dead.
Tales from the Borderlands is in that same universe after Borderlands 2. After, right? Yeah, after Borderlands 2. And the comedy in that and like character storytelling was fantastic. You hit different emotional highs and lows in one of the funniest games I've ever played in my life. Like the whole what was it? Space station finger gun fight was probably one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. It was so good. But that's a different style of game too. It's not an action game or whatever, or adventure that you play. It's like you make a couple choices here and there, and it does. You can choose which path.
Yeah.
Pretty much. That's about it.
So I was way off, by the way.
What's up?
The season 1 of The Walking Dead from Telltale came out in 2012.
Yeah, I thought it was a bit older. But
I didn't realize it came out before the PS4 was even released.
Yeah.
Because that was
Yeah.
November 2013.
Mm-hmm. I
I
remember
couldn't
that.
remember when they were released.
Yeah, they were released in November of
I
2013.
remember that. Yep.
So that actually kind of blows my mind
But
a
I
little bit.
think comparatively
We're
to
getting
like the
old
other
now.
parts of the franchise, I think Tales from the Borderlands is definitely underrated. Which there might be a 2 coming, Jordan.
Really?
Yeah. I've heard
Okay.
I've heard talks.
So
I don't
Tales
know
of the
if we'll-
Borderlands was November 25th, 2014.
Yeah. So definitely recommend.
That's probably one I was thinking of
It's
more.
relatively short. It's pretty short. It's easy. It's really fun.
Yeah, because they're not long games by
No,
any
no,
means,
no.
but the stories are fantastic,
Yes.
dude. I wouldn't say those are underrated though, because they have like a huge
Comparatively
cult
to
following.
rest of
Well, I mean,
Borderlands.
yeah, I
is
mean,
what
if you're
was
gonna compare
saying,
it to the
but
rest of the series, then sure. But I mean, they still
it's totally different. But yeah, it was
Telltale
good.
games have their own cult following, I guess, which that could be a whole nother thing. Like if the game
Cult
is,
followings, yeah.
would that mean it's not underrated, or I don't know.
I think it's underrated in the general populace. Of
Yeah,
gaming.
I mean that's like me. I guess
A lot of
with
people don't even
Banjo-Kazooie,
know it
'cause that
exists.
definitely has a cult following.
But-
That's a
Well,
really fair
I mean,
point. Fair point.
Legend of Dragoon has a cult following. We have a petition that's going. We clearly have at least 27,000 of us diehard fans.
I mean, every game is a cult following of
Exactly,
some sort.
so-
You
Yeah.
know.
you know,
There's one more I was going to talk about. I forgot. Sad day.
I'm trying to think because there's so many games that I could go back, in my mind that I've played through and be like, okay, you know what, that was incredible, but no one's played it. And oh, dude, we should just at some point just bust out the Nintendo 64 library I have and just
well,
see.
we should just go and play a lot of these old games one of these
Yeah.
days.
Do you know what we should
so-
play? Superman 64.
No.
No.
Yeah, buddy.
So,
But,
but
Okay.
we spent quite a bit of time on this,
We
so we
have.
probably need to move on to the last topic.
One thing though, super quick. There
Play
is.
Alan Wake. That's the one thing you need to know.
I actually do have that on PC. It
Dude.
was. I think they had it on sale for $1 because they were losing
Play
rights
it.
to the music, so they couldn't sell it. So they were on sale for like $1.
Play it.
It was like, here, take it. But anyways, I know before you shut it down, because it is in Superman 64, do not shut this down because I really enjoyed it. I would say it's underrated just for there's a spaceship mode where you battle spaceships. It's like dogfighting in Superman 64. My brother and I, we would sit down and we would play that for hours. And we would do, like, there's different maps that you could go through and like you could play on, and you would just battle spaceships. And I don't know why, so much fun. The main game sucked, but we would put it in the Nintendo all the time just to play the spaceship part. For us, that was fun.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
So I would say that's underrated in my mind.
Sure.
Okay. Okay.
Sure. All right.
So let's move
Alright.
on though, so we don't run
Moving
too
on here, I
long.
guess, to mine.
Okay.
Mine's kind of in the same genre. Don't know if you have. I'm sure you have, but I've had in a number of my games that I played in my gaming career moments of I call them awe moments. I guess where you sit back and you're like, wow, this is really cool.
I got so many of those.
Like I'm like hooked and entranced on this whatever it is part of this game.
Yep.
This moment that happens that's like, wow, I can't believe I don't know, I witnessed this or played this, that's just
Yeah.
really cool. You're awestruck a little bit when you see something, or
Yeah.
I have a bunch of those. I wonder if you have any.
I have two that are basically the same thing,
Sure.
but they both hit me in like almost a different way,
Okay.
I guess. And of course, I'm an Elder Scrolls fan, but when you
course.
leave the jail in Oblivion, when you leave those dungeons and you walk out
Come
of
out of the
the
world?
sewer and you see that big sprawling world in front of you.
I have
You
the
know,
same for Morrowind,
and-
getting off the boat and
Yeah, and you're just like, I can go anywhere. Like what? Because I mean, that was the first one I played was Oblivion. and that came out in 2007, if I remember correctly.
It's been back there, yeah. It's pretty old now.
So I think it was 2007, but it was one of those things where it definitely was just like, oh my god, like this place is huge, like just what you can see, and it's not even that big when you leave the tunnels in Oblivion because you got the hill in front of you, like there's like a lake or a river, but like there's a hill, and so you can't even really see that much. But then it hit me again in Skyrim because they did it differently. You come out of the cave as you leave, and it's just like you turn the corner and you see that mountain with Bleak Falls Barrow up on it. You know, you can see that, and you see the ruins off in the distance, and you just know in the back of your mind, I can go there.
There's a dragon there.
Yeah, and it's just like it's so cool because the world opens up in a way.
You're just overwhelmed by the expansive nature of this game.
Yeah, because it hits you in a way where you're like, okay, where do I go? Because do I go to the ruins that everyone's going to go to? Well, that's the thing. It's like everyone's going to go there first. Or do I turn around and just see what's behind me? Because you can do that too.
You go to the trader and you steal all of his stuff first, and then you go there.
You put a bucket on his head, and then you steal all his stuff because he'll never see you. No, so there was that moment. There was a few other ones where, like, because you said you had the same thing with Morrowind. And
yeah,
I mean,
I mean, you're a slave, and you get off this slave boat in Satanin, this little ocean like village thing.
Yeah,
and just that was so mind-boggling to me, being in a game like that, expansive. You can do whatever, you can look anywhere you want, you can explore and stuff.
Yeah,
and immediately die because that game's way harder than all the other ones. But that was like holy crap moment, you know, for me. But another one, I guess, is the first time walking onto Halo in Halo Combat Evolved, second mission called Halo, where you crash land in a life pod and you just immediately wake up and walk out and see this like huge, ancient, machine that you're on.
Yeah,
it's just crazy.
I don't think I've ever played the first Halo because I started with Halo 3.
Do you need to play it?
What's wrong with you?
It's a lot of fun.
I got into the Xbox late, so the first Halo I played was Halo 3.
Get the Master Chief Collection if you don't have it.
Have it. It's because I got Game Pass.
Seriously, go through them.
Yeah.
Just the campaign. Like, you don't got to mess with anything else. Just go through.
I definitely
so
want to because
cool.
I played Halo 3 and then I played ODST, which I thought was fun. And then was it Reach came out after
Reach
ODST?
Came out after that.
I played a little bit of Reach, but not too much because then I sold
Reach had a cool campaign. A lot of people think that's the best one. It's not.
Yeah, because then I sold the Xbox and got a PlayStation. Just because my cousins had PlayStation 3, so I got that.
3 was fantastic. I loved
3.
1.
3 is awesome too.
I even messed with Halo 4. I was fine with that too, and Reach as well. But Halo 5 kind of sucked. But so yeah, first moments seeing Halo, for sure. My moments. Maybe the biggest one was the intro to BioShock. Going down and hearing that monologue from Andrew Ryan, and then you finally see Rapture, the underwater, like, just bustling city that's like falling apart and like crazy, like,
yeah,
that was crazy.
That's another series that you just reminded me I have on PlayStation 4.
Dude, play them.
I need to play it. I know it.
That's one of
games.
That's one of my favorite gaming experiences ever, was playing through BioShock 1 when it came out. We rented it from Video Warehouse when it was still a thing in Esterville, me and my brother. And we played it like up until I think it was like 7 o'clock, whatever, when we had to take it back. And we didn't finish it, and we're like, wow, this is like an awesome game.
You're like, we need to rent it again.
So we went to Video Warehouse, re-rented it, and went back home and played it through the night and beat it. It was so good.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so good.
I think that might be my topic next week. Maybe. We'll see. Like, just in my head, just going back and like going through my backlog of games and just saying how long of a list I have. And we can
gotta
just go
start
through
playing them, man.
I know, and it's bad, dude. Because
you're missing out on some wonderful things.
I have just right off the top of my head, Red Dead Redemption 2, all the Witcher games. I played Dragon Age 1 and 2. Never played anything past that.
That reminds me to get you the DLC for the Witcher games.
You didn't get me those mods. I'm waiting because you said I can play it with a controller. You have good mods for that, and I'm like, absolutely, because
Mass Effect is out, all of them.
Never played Mass Effect either. Like, but I don't own those, so I can't say those are in my backlog if I don't own it.
On PlayStation.
Okay.
Let's see. For me, one of those awe moments was actually when I first started Breath of the Wild.
Okay, sure, yeah.
It had been a while since I last played a
Zelda game, right?
game.
Yeah.
And then
that
going out
sense.
there and then seeing the just the
So
actual horizon.
it's
and all
exactly
different
like with
games.
my Skyrim
That's,
one.
you made
Yeah.
me think about that. I was just like,
Yeah.
that just blew me away the first time. I was just like, seeing it all in a state of decay, though. Like, I was used to when I played a Zelda game, I'd come in and I would see it, it'd be fresh, it'd be alive, everybody would be, like, bustling.
Mm-hmm.
This was one of the first ones where you came in and everything was in ruins.
See, and that was my first ever Zelda game. Was Breath of the Wild.
Really?
Yeah. Because my parents
I
never.
guess that doesn't surprise
You know,
me.
as a kid though, you're limited to the games that your parents buy for you, and my parents never bought me Zelda.
Sure.
I don't know why. You know, I on the Nintendo 64, I've listed through a lot of them already that I had in this episode, but they just never.
They don't have a
never
Link
bought
to the
Zelda.
Past on Switch, do they?
They do on the Super Nintendo Virtual System.
Play that.
Is that so? The Super Nintendo.
That's
was
my
that Zelda
favorite
2?
Zelda game.
Do not play Legend of Zelda 2.
Well,
the
what one
Adventure
is that
Link.
then?
A
It
Link
is
to the Past.
A Legend of Zelda Link to the Past on the Super Nintendo.
That's my favorite one of all time. Fantastic.
That is my favorite one of all time as well. Also, the very first video game I ever played.
It's up there
Very
in my
first video
favorite
game I ever
games.
That's an
played.
entire different conversation,
Yeah.
so don't get into
Yeah,
that
we
too
won't play
much.
that one yet, but
Mario 1, like Super Mario Bros. The
Sure.
first one.
yeah, but
So,
there's lots of good crazy moments, I guess. But I guess I have more, but I'll let Nick talk.
No, I played the Modern Warfare series, and just like there's a couple characters like Soap
Mm-hmm.
that are in it.
And Bryce.
And Price is just like just seeing them how well of characters they are, and then like Modern Warfare 3. I just played the campaigns because it's fun. I like the stories.
Yeah.
Sure.
And
Those are actually the
Very good
like, only
campaigns.
CODs and last CODs that were like this is good
like Blood Brothers,
for campaign.
the one that it's not Roach. Oh shit.
Roach and Soap?
Yuri,
Okay.
the Russian that got betrayed by Makarov,
Yeah.
and he figures out you're with them, and Soap, you're trying to help Soap to safety with Price, and Soap dies, and I just sat there. I'm like, what? And he gave him the 1911 gun that he used
Yeah.
in the first Call of Duty that he shot and killed that.
Yep.
The guy that was gonna take over Russia or something. I forget his name.
I can't remember his name.
It starts with a K. I know that, but
Like
he
Kasnov or something like that.
something. But yeah, he kills him with that, and it's like Price gave it back to him, and it was like that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like in MW2 where Roach gets betrayed by the general and he kills Ghost
Oh
too.
yeah, that one. You're like, what?
See, it's funny you bring up Modern Warfare because I have one from Modern Warfare 2, and it was just the playing no Russian for the first time.
Oh, the first
Oh my
yeah, it's
gosh,
great.
The first time
There's
you-
so much
had-
controversy on
The-
that.
I know,
So
and
much.
that game was like
People
it got
when
so
it got
much
remastered,
hate.
people tried to petition that they don't put that in,
Yeah,
which is dumb.
Well,
Oh,
it
very
just
dumb.
shows the side of Makarov who he is.
Yeah.
he's
Murder people.
yeah.
terrible
But
person.
that
Make
was
a
another
statement.
one of those moments where I was like,
Oh yeah, people were
And
crazy
he-
about that one.
wow.
But if he didn't do that, he didn't kill Private Allen, then Russia and America would never have gone to war.
Hmm.
He figured out, hey, we got an American in our midst, we're gonna kill
Yeah.
him.
I think out of all that series, my favorite moment would be Gillies in the Mist, if you remember that one.
Oh, yeah.
dude,
Where
that
The
movie
first
is
one-
so
and,
good.
Price and his guy
Yeah.
are, and their ghillie suits are all just snipers crawling through the people, like walking past them in the field. With
Yeah.
these ghillie suits.
Your heart's pumping.
Yeah,
your heart's
dude,
pumping.
that
You're
was
like,
so
oh no,
good.
no.
I replayed that mission more times than I can count, and I mean,
That
I
was
can
fun
I can
even on
count to like
Veteran.
7.
But
The mission after on Veteran was so bad. That sucked.
See, I played through all of them and
Were you-
completed all on Veteran, and it was
Sure,
like
it was-
ridiculous.
Oh, it's so hard. Like
Ridiculous.
when you make the shot and kill him, and you have to get away. That mission right after.
Yeah.
Oh,
you
man,
have
that
to hold
sucks.
At the Ferris wheel?
The Ferris wheel. Oh,
Yeah.
no, the
That
dogs are coming
sucks.
on
Yeah.
Veteran. That
Do you know what the
sucks so
hardest
bad.
one ever though for Veteran difficulty was? And this is
Mile High Club.
yep. It took
It's terrible.
It took me hours to finally get that and figure out
There's
what
like
to do.
a perfect algorithm you have to do. You just throw flashes at certain places at
Yep.
certain times and just sprint through.
Yep.
Like that's
Yeah.
all you can do.
Yeah, because it's not possible otherwise.
I remember doing
Mile
that.
High Club
Oh,
was
yeah, is that the end
ridiculous.
of?
Yeah,
that's
it's like
the first Modern Warfare?
That's the
Like the bonus
epilogue
mission.
mission. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
When you gotta kill, assassinate the guy on the plane and jump out. Within was it 30 seconds or something?
No, you get like a minute.
No, but for Veteran.
Veteran.
Oh,
It's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
yeah.
You move one spot, you shot once, you're dead. Like it's
Yeah.
crazy.
It's insane. I spent hours trying to get that one night. And then finally I got it, and I was like, wait, what? Like, it kind of blew my mind. I was
Right.
actually able to beat that. I'm
Right.
trying to think of other just wow moments for games, though. Because there's so many.
There's so
There's-
many.
There's another Call of Duty game. This is back like where it was kind of they're all based in World War II. Like Call of Duty 2, the big red one. You guys
Big
ever
red
played
one, yeah.
that one?
Yep.
I just love the aspect of like, okay, we're gonna have a mission of tanks. Like that was pretty cool,
Sure.
and showed like different sides of the war because it's always Normandy. We always see that. We don't see the other side of it, like Africa and Italy and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and the one mission I really loved was when you're in the B-17 or B-24. I forget which one it is. But yeah, you're a liberator. You're coming from Africa into Italy, the bomb stuff, and yeah, you shoot every gun across the thing, and the ball turrets, everything, and then you bomb like these bomb ships and submarines, and then you bomb like the big warehouse that's like your main
Sure.
target. It's so
Yeah.
like you got to think back in 2005, like that was a pretty good game, and I kind of like I went through the campaign again because I was just like I just want to see how it is because I played it all the time as a kid.
Yeah.
It's not terrible. I liked
Yeah.
it, and I just look back. I'm like, oh, I kind of have more respect
Good moments.
for this
Yeah.
game.
I have a couple from Mass Effect. I don't really want to spoil them though.
I just had one pop in my head.
Go for it.
And it was actually, I don't know why I didn't think about this. It is the coolest experience I've ever had in a video game. It was my first time ever playing VR.
Okay.
And it was at Target Center. It was the Star Wars demo. And they were like, you can pick, do you want to drive a car or do you want to do the Star Wars demo? I'm like, I'm doing Star Wars. And sitting in the X-Wing, flying around, because they put like noise canceling headphones on too. So you're completely immersed into this thing and you have no idea what's going on around you.
Mm-hmm.
And flying an X-Wing in outer space and just looking up and you're flying underneath all these like Imperial Star Destroyers and stuff like that and you're shooting down the TIE fighters. I'm like, and you can look around, like you can turn around, and see R2-D2 behind you. Like, this is the coolest thing I've ever done. And ever since then, I've wanted to get VR. I just don't have the space in here for a good VR setup. I could do like just the games where you sit down, but like, there's a lot of games that require a lot of movement.
Sure.
I don't have the
Yeah.
space, but
Beat Saber.
dude, I want Beat Saber so bad. But no,
I just
just
listen to music. I don't want to play it.
being able to do that, you turn around and just seeing everything around you.
Sure.
It was the coolest thing. Like, I will never forget the way I felt doing that. I was like, this is not real. Like, this cannot be a thing. Like, it just seemed like the technology was so much farther ahead of what my mind thought it should be. Never playing VR before. The first time you ever get VR goggles on, you're in outer space flying around like that. I'm like, this is unbelievably cool. And then the second time I ever did VR, it wasn't the wow moment because I've done VR before then, so I kind of knew what it was like. And this wasn't a game. It was more just almost like a tech demo, I guess.
Okay.
And it was just one of those things that was like, wow, that's weird. Not, wow, that's cool. It was, wow, that's weird. I don't remember what the name of it was. There was a game where you had to like shoot these guys with bow and arrows. Like, they were almost like stick figures, though. It was really cartoony, didn't look realistic. But you were defending a castle tower. And I hit the point where I was on my tiptoes, leaning over, even though I'm on a flat surface, and I could have made that step. My mind would not let me take a step over that tower to see what was below me.
Mm-hmm.
My mind was like, nope, don't do it. And it's just so weird. So that's one of
Sure.
those games that I'll never forget those moments. So I guess that's another wow all
Sure.
moment, I guess. It's just like,
I never
it
had
was
that
so
wow
cool.
moment with VR. I've always been a little bit underwhelmed with it, but
See,
guess
I
I've
thought it
never-
was incredible.
I don't know. It's not where I want it to be, in technologically wise. I'm waiting for that future where it's just freaking cool.
See, because
So,
that's where I thought it
SAO
was.
style?
Well, hopefully we don't get stuck and die. But,
Well, not that, but you know what I'm talking
yeah,
about.
yeah. But
Like Ready Player One or whatever it's called.
gosh, just remember thinking like the old school like COD games and stuff. Just playing those back in the day with my friends from high school. I remember when Gears of War 1 came out, and that first time you fight the Berserker. I don't know if you've played Gears. Any of you have?
I've seen my cousins play it, and I played it a little bit. Yeah.
I played the first few missions of Gears of War 4, was it? The newest one? Or like one of the
5
newer
is
ones?
the newest one, I think.
Maybe it was 5. One of the newer ones on Xbox. I forget,
Yeah.
like the Xbox
5
One.
came out couple of years back.
It was
1
probably
year?
Gears of War 5.
Yeah,
but I don't
something like
remember.
that.
I just know I played the first few
But,
missions, but then one of my buddy's dads got put in the hospital and passed away. So I was like, well, then I stopped to go.
Sure.
You know. So I was like, it was fun. I just didn't get to finish the story because that
Sure.
happened. I just never went back to it.
But playing Gears of War 1, there's this moment you're like trying to find your way out of the city and survive, you know. But like the radio calls in, there's a berserker near you, which is this huge, crazy locust is the name of the monsters, the race or whatever. And it's completely blind, but it hears. And once it hears, it just like sprints at you and like will run into a wall and like run through walls and stuff. And if it catches you, it rips you apart pretty much. So like, there's this moment, this cinematic where you go in and this guy walks the other way. It's too loud and the berserker's there, and like you can see the shadows and the light, and he like rips him apart and it walks away, whatever. So then eventually, you know, you meet it, and you gotta run away through these walls. You gotta stand in the wall, make noise, shoot at it. It sprints at you and runs into the doors and breaks them open, so you can go to the next room.
Oh, that'd be cool.
You gotta do that like 3 times. You can go outside to get the the ultimate weapon for the game. Is kind of it's called the Hammer of Dawn, I think, and it's like just a satellite reader, like a laser point.
Okay.
And the Hammer of Dawn is a satellite, and it shoots this huge like solar beam down on the ground that you control, and you have to like point it at this berserker that's sprinting towards you on the outside, and then like right when it gets to you, the satellite launches the beam and like fries it. Like that moment was maybe one of the most exhilarating moments in my gaming career.
Wasn't there a weapon like that in Halo 2? Like not Halo 2, but Halo also.
Not like that. There was the
Just a laser.
Spartan laser.
Yeah, there's just the
Which
laser.
was
I thought
like
there was something like the beam that they shot out of the sky in Halo. Maybe I'm crazy. I don't know. I
think
thought
so.
like in the story you did
Are you
something
thinking of
similar.
Star Wars.
No,
I mean, there's Sentinel beams that are kind of like that.
maybe in my
But
mind
the
that's.
Spartan laser was...
Well, I know the Spartan laser, like the charge up gun.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of like in the campaign. I thought at one point you fired something from space at something. Maybe I'm wrong.
I don't...
I'm probably
remember,
thinking of
but-
something totally different. And in my mind, just thinking Halo because you're talking Gears.
Sure,
I don't know.
yeah.
I don't know.
Just that was a crazy moment, I remember.
Oh yeah, there's so many of them, man. So many. Like I feel like we could talk for hours just on this.
Yeah, it's such a cool topic, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But if anyone has any more, I guess. Or we can...
I don't know. Most of the God of War games. In the first
Okay.
one, when I first started playing
Yeah.
those,
Sure.
just the sheer magnitude of it, that hit me hard.
Sure. I mean, I see a lot of Final Fantasy.
Mhm.
Like, on a lower note, Aerith dying.
Oh, man.
I was like, what, 10 years old? I bawled.
I as well.
I cried, man.
That actually would be another interesting topic. Is like video game moments. Like, have you ever cried playing a video game? That would
Yeah.
be that'd be a good
Aerith
topic
dying,
as
for
well.
sure.
Never did.
Have you
It's
ever
missed out.
played? Wait, wow.
Never did.
You never played The
Dude.
Last of Us?
Dude, for a while there,
The opening
all the
cinematic?
games,
Yeah, the opening scene of the original Last
Sure,
of Us
that's
game.
pretty emotional.
That got me.
dude, the only games I played for a while till I became cultured, I would say, dude, I only played sports games. Like that's all I did.
I
I'm
want
glad
you.
you've gotten
grown
out
up.
a little bit of that.
I want you to borrow, because you don't have a PS4, do you?
No, I don't.
I want you to borrow one of my PS4s and play The Last of Us,
I have to.
because the opening
You could just
cinematic
watch
of
the
that.
cinematic on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
Well, see, I think if you play it, you get good headphones on, and
Sure.
you're doing it yourself. It's gonna hit you a lot different than
I
playing
got-
than
Dude, I
watching
get
it.
it,
I
yeah.
got coworkers that they said they went through it and they said it's just an amazing game.
Like that game made my dad cry. I made him play the first like 10, 15 minutes of
Unpopular opinion, I think they're overrated.
it. See, I think the games are
Unpopular
great.
opinion, I guess.
I think they're
I think
great,
it's
but
a fantastic made game series,
yeah,
especially the first one.
I haven't played the second one.
We won't talk about that.
Yeah.
But, especially the first one. But I found it a little, because I didn't play it originally when it came out. I played the remaster. When I went back.
that's when I played.
I found
it
it
the
a
first
bit
as well.
dry. It's very like, there's the infected, right, or whatever,
Yeah,
really aren't a part of the game. Like it's really just about humans for the most part, like and how
Mm-hmm.
they
See, but I
interact
think
with
that's
each
'cause it's
other and
more-
emotional, just humans. Like, and I get
yeah.
that.
It's more story driven with them.
With just the human side of it.
Yeah.
And I get that, and that has its appeal, and they did really, really well with it.
Yeah.
I just wish there was more. Like
No,
I
I
wish
get
there,
it. I get
like the whole apocalypse wasn't just kind of a side story. Like it's not obviously a side story; it's the main thing, but it's I don't know.
See, the way I see it, I guess
It's about Ellie and Joel and a couple other characters.
Yeah,
and their
and how they
relationship
deal
with
with
other
it.
people, you know.
and how they deal with the
Yeah.
apocalypse. Like, it's not the apocalypse
It's like-
itself; it's the situation that they're in.
I gotta get this person somewhere to do this thing, messing with all these people, and we just happen to be going through this world with all these freaks in it, you know.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it is. I don't
Because
know.
for them, that was like their normal world at that point.
Right.
So I mean, they wanted to make it seem like, in my mind, that was normal.
It's like I don't know. I don't want to compare it to Walking Dead, but it's like The Walking Dead, where at first it was cool because it was about The Walking Dead, and now
Yeah.
The Walking Dead is the humans, and it's just interactions between different groups of humans, and I don't like it.
Yeah.
You know.
No, I get it, but that's probably a totally different conversation.
Definitely worth playing. I'm not dissuading you from playing it for sure. Just my experience probably wasn't the greatest. I don't think.
See, I say that's one of my top games ever.
Sure.
I love it, and if you like story based, I don't think the story, honestly, in my mind,
It's
gets
an
better.
adventure story-based game. I think you probably like it.
But do you think we should probably end because it's like
Yeah.
8:30?
Yeah, we could.
So
I'm down.
Probably about that time.
Those fun topics. I'd
Yeah.
talk
Oh,
about this
super
for
fun.
longer.
yeah,
I
that's
think
why I said
all
like
could
we
go
can.
on and on and on.
Let us
Oh,
know
for sure.
your picks for some of these topics in the comments too. I'd
Oh,
like to
please
hear
do.
what you guys think.
Yeah, please
If
do.
you
Definitely,
disagree,
yeah.
agree, whatever, that'd be cool.
It'd be super cool. So guys,
Get in the chats on Twitter.
oh for sure,
Yeah,
that'd
down.
be super fun. All of our Twitters, by the way, are linked down below, except for Nick because I don't have
Yeah,
Nick's
I don't
Twitter.
have Twitter.
Yeah, see, he doesn't
Neither
have
did
it.
I
So
until I was forced to get one for this show.
yeah, so
I had one, but I hadn't used it until.
so
the
they're
show,
all linked
so-
below. So if
Oh,
you
yeah.
ever have anything you want to talk about, tweet at one of us. We are for sure there.
Sorry about the stream.
And
Yeah.
sorry again about the
Sorry.
Twitch stream. It's MediaCom, and I probably can't even do my stream tonight if this keeps up. I mean, it's the
That's rough.
same thing. So I guess
That's rough,
I'll.
buddy.
Hey, it's a chance for you to play real video games.
That's true.
It's a chance for me to get a lot of video editing work done that I haven't gotten to do yet because I was working all
Or
weekend.
you can play real
So,
video games.
Or you can play some awesome games that we've recommended for a long time.
I gotta make money so we can get a studio.
Or
Or
get
you could do that
culture.
later.
Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. Sorry again for the stream. Make sure if you're watching on YouTube that you hit that subscribe button because it really does help. We need to look in at some point getting these audio only up on like Spotify or something. I don't know how to do that, but we can look into that at some
Yeah,
point.
that'd be cool.
I just know we need to do something. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. This has been episode 8 of Uncalled For. Once again,
It's a good one.
thanks
Hope
for
you
watching.
enjoyed it, or you will enjoy it
Yep.
with
Yeah.
YouTube.
Probably gonna have to be a will enjoy at this point. And I can't see what the ending one is. I think it might be this one. Does that say ending, Nick?
I
Maybe.
can't read it from here.
I think that's ending.
See your computer. right
we'll
next to me, that's it.
we'll take a guess. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. See you later.
Take care.